Today I came up with a new series that is Historical Background of Indian Constitution. Historical Background of Indian Constitution. My dear friends, before beginning this session, let me ask you a very simple question. What are the important challenges you face with regards to historical background of Indian Constitution or the various British legislations made during the British period? Many students say, sir, there are lot of acts, there are many acts, starting with Regulating Act of 1773, next one Pitt's India Act of 1784, next Charter Act 1813, followed by 1833, 53, and then Government of India Act or Good Governance Act of 1858, then followed by Indian Council Act 1861, 92, next 1909, 1919 and 1935. There are many acts, and each and every act has many provisions. That's the reason most of the times most of the students always have confusion with regards to this. It's always difficult for you to immediately recall when was for the first time the ordinance system was introduced, or when the portfolio system was introduced, or when the Governor General of India was designated as Viceroy of India, or when there is a separation of legislative and executive powers, or when the system of dual government, that is Board of Control and Court of Directors, was this one abolished. So that's the reason I came up with this series. By the time we finish this series, you will never forget a single important provisions of this act. I came up with a powerful mnemonics which will help you to remember them. You will never forget them in your lifetime, my dear friends. This is my challenge. This is my guarantee from my side. Okay. So let's begin with Regulating Act of 1773. My dear friends, in this series, I will not go in depth into that in analyzing the background like we do in other classes, because as many of you have the knowledge of the background, the historical background and all these things, the important challenge you face is with regards to remembering them. So our core focus will be just discussing the important provisions and how to remember them such that you will never forget them again. My dear friends, let me highlight the importance of them before discussing. Every year, at least 2 to 3 questions come from this topic. Historical backgrounds or the legislations made during the British period. Minimum 2 questions and maximum 3 to 4 questions. Okay. So if you think minimum 2 questions also, you will be scoring 4 marks. Okay. The cutoff is hovering around 102, 103. So indirectly, if you are thorough with these acts, nothing but 4% of your preparation is finished and 4% of your marks will be in your pocket. Okay, that's the reason. Please focus on it and please try to utilize this opportunity and remember them for lifelong. Yes, sir. Starting with Regulating Act of 1773. The first provision of this Regulating Act of 1773, as you all know, the British provinces, they have 3 provinces, that is Bengal, Bombay and Bengal, Madras and Bombay. Okay, so these 3 provinces have individual governors, independent governors. Okay, however, in the Regulating Act of 1773, the Governor of Bengal was made Governor General. The Governor of Bengal was made Governor General. So Madras and the Bombay governors were subordinated to the Bengal governor. That is the first point. Governor of Bengal was made Governor General. Madras, Bombay presidencies were subordinated, whereas earlier they were independent. Next one. This is the first step taken by the British government to control and regulate the affairs of East India Company. This is the first step taken by the British government to regulate the activities of the British East India Company, taken by the British government. Okay. Next one, it made COD refers to court of directors. It made court of directors accountable as they are asked to report on their revenue, civil and military activities in India. It made court of directors accountable and they were asked to report on revenue, civil and military activities of British East India Company in India. Next one. It prohibits servants of the company, that is employees of the company, in engaging any private trade or accepting bribes. My dear friends, we heard the story of Robert Clive and all these employees, okay, who came and who accumulated huge wealth, okay, whereas the British East India Company is going into losses, these employees are gaining huge profits. That's the reason it prohibited servants of company in engaging any private trade or accepting the bribes. Next point, important point. It set up, Regulating Act of 1773 set up an executive council with 4 members. It created an executive council with 4 members to assist the Governor General. Next important point. It set up establishment of Supreme Court at Fort Williams in Calcutta. Establishment of Supreme Court at Fort Williams. My dear friends, see the beauty now. Understand, you need to appreciate this, okay? The important keyword, please focus on the keywords. G, Governor of Bengal. Next, first step taken by the company to regulate the activities. Next, it made court of directors accountable. A. Next, it prohibits servants of company in engaging any private trade. Next, it created an executive council. E. And next, establishment of Supreme Court at Fort Williams. My dear friends, just remember grapes. My dear friend, just remember grapes. You are done with Regulating Act 1773. You should never forget, my dear friends, the important provisions of the Regulating Act of 1773. Okay, please remember grapes. Now next, coming to the other important act is Pitt's India Act 1784. Pitt's India Act 1784. This Pitt's India Act 1784 was legislated to address the lacunas in the existing legislations, in the earlier policies, earlier acts. So the first important thing it has done is separation of commercial and political affairs. Please remember, for the first time this act separated the political functions and the commercial functions of the British East India Company. The commercial activities are overlooked by Court of Directors, whereas the political affairs were overlooked by the Board of Control. Once again, the Pitt's India Act 1784 for the first time separated the commercial and the political functions. The commercial functions were overlooked by the Court of Directors and the political affairs were under the control of Board of Control. Next, my dear friends, in Executive Council, the size of Executive Council is 4 according to the Regulating Act of 1773. Now the size of the council was reduced to 3. Okay, because due to the delay and due to the deadlock in the decision making power. Okay, the size of the council, Executive Council, is reduced to 3. Next one, Indian Affairs. Now Indian affairs are under the direct control of British government and the company's territories were called British possessions in India. So slowly it highlights the increasing control of the British on India. Okay, these are the 3 points you need to remember. One is separation of commercial and political affairs. Next one, the council size is reduced to 3, and next, increasing control of British government, and the company's positions will now be considered as the British positions in India. Okay, just remember this as Sikh. There is nothing for K. Okay, Sikh, just remember Sikh, SICK. Okay, separation. Next one, Indian affairs and the council size. That's it, friends. When you ate grapes, you became sick. Very simple. Just remember, if you eat grapes, you will become sick. G stands for, let's do a quick recap. G stands for Governor General. R for first step to regulate. Next, A for it made court of directors accountable. P for it prohibited private trade and accepting bribe. Next, executive council size is 4. Next one, it set up a Supreme Court. Next, here S stands for separation of commercial and political affairs. Next one, Indian affairs under the control of British government. Next one, C for council size is reduced to 3. So please remember, grapes. When you eat grapes, you will become sick. So we have done with Regulating Act of 1773 and the Pitt's India Act. Very easy. So my dear friends, you should never forget. I gave powerful mnemonics for you. You should remember them lifelong.